U.S. lawmakers meet Taiwan's president-elect. Saudi Arabia opens first liquor store in over 70 years. Arsonist sentences to death for attack on Kyoto animation studio. North Korea demolishes Symbolic Unification arch. Global warming primary cause of unprecedented Amazon drought. 99-year-old Canadian swimmer breaks 3 world records.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, January 29th, and here are your top stories. Taiwan's President-elect Lai Ching-te said Thursday he hopes that the United States can continue to firmly support Taiwan as he met the first group of U.S. lawmakers to visit Taipei since he won an election earlier this month. Lai from Taiwan's governing Democratic Progressive Party and the current vice president will take office on May 20th. Meeting with the leaders of the U.S. House of Representatives Taiwan Caucus, Republican Rep. Muriel Diaz-Balart and Democratic Rep. Ami Bera, Lai said democracy and freedom were core shared values with the U.S.
Lai said, Taiwan is situated in the first island chain and stands on the front line of China's authoritarian expansionism. This makes Taiwan a crucial strategic location. Stability across the Taiwan Strait is extremely important to regional and global peace and prosperity. The United States is Taiwan's most important international backer and arms seller despite the lack of formal diplomatic ties. China has repeatedly warned the United States to stop its support for Taiwan, and the issue is a constant irritant in Sino-US relations. On Thursday, China criticized the United States for causing trouble and provocation after the U.S. Navy sailed its first warship through the sensitive Taiwan Strait since presidential and parliamentary elections on the island.
A liquor store has opened in Saudi Arabia for the first time in over 70 years, a further socially liberalizing step in the once ultra-conservative kingdom that is home to the holiest sites in Islam. While restricted to non-Muslim diplomats, the store in Riyadh comes as Saudi Arabia's assertive Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman aims to make the kingdom a tourism and business destination as part of ambitious plans to slowly wean its economy away from crude oil. However, challenges remain both from the prince's international reputation after the 2018 killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, as well as internally with the conservative Islamic mores that have governed its sandy expanses for decades.
Saudi officials did not respond to a request for comment regarding the store. However, the opening of the store coincides with a story run by the English-language newspaper Arab News, owned by the state-aligned Saudi Research and Media Group, on new rules governing alcohol sales to diplomats in the kingdom. It described the rules as meant to curb the uncontrolled importing of these special goods and liquors within the diplomatic consignments. For years, diplomats have been able to import liquor through a specialty service into the kingdom for consumption on diplomatic grounds. Drinking alcohol is considered haram, or forbidden, in Islam. Saudi Arabia remains one of the few nations in the world with a ban on alcohol, alongside its neighbor Kuwait and Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates.
A Japanese court on Thursday sentenced a 45-year-old man to death for setting fire to the renowned Kyoto animation studio in 2019, which left 36 people dead in the country's worst mass killing in almost 20 years. The defendant, Shinji Aoba, was charged with murder and arson after telling police his work had been plagiarized and that he used gasoline to set fire to the studio. He was found guilty by the Kyoto District Court last Thursday. Dozens of people were inside the 3-story building at the time of the blaze, which spread so quickly and rapidly that many did not have time to escape, police said at the time. All those who died were employees, with at least 32 others injured.
In his ruling, the court's presiding judge Keisuke Masuda called Aoba's crime truly atrocious and inhumane. The victims' deaths were too serious and tragic, Masuda said, describing how flames and smoke engulfed the studio. The judge said, the horror and pain of the victims who died in Studio 1, which turned into a hell in an instant, or who died afterward, is beyond description. In a 2019 news conference, police said Aoba had unspecified mental health issues. He pleaded not guilty at the trial, which began last September, with his defense lawyers arguing he had a mental disorder and could not be held criminally responsible. Prosecutors, however, called for the death penalty, arguing Aoba was fully competent.
According to NK News analysis of satellite imagery, North Korea appears to have demolished a large monument in Pyongyang, symbolizing hope for unification with South Korea, after leader Kim Jong-un ordered it be removed earlier this month. The move appears aimed at sending a strong signal to both domestic audiences and authorities in Seoul that Kim is serious about ditching a policy of peaceful unification with the South. The monument to the three charters for national reunification appeared gone in a Planet Labs medium-resolution image taken on Tuesday morning, though it is unclear precisely when or how it was taken down.
Kim called the monument an eyesore at a Supreme People's Assembly (SPA) session on January 15th and ordered it to be completely removed, to completely eliminate such concepts as reunification, reconciliation, and fellow countrymen from the national history of our republic. The monument, around 100 feet tall, 30 meters, and 200 feet wide, 61.5 meters, stood above Thongil, Unification Street in southwest Pyongyang, the highway leading from the capital down to Kaesong and across to South Korea. Completed in 2001, it depicted two women, one from each Korea, holding an emblem of the outline of the entire Korean peninsula.
Human-induced global warming and not El Niño was the primary driver of last year's severe drought in the Amazon that sent rivers to record lows, required deliveries of food and drinking water to hundreds of river communities, and killed dozens of endangered dolphins. Both climate change and El Niño contributed about equally to a reduction in rainfall, but higher global temperatures were the biggest reason for the drought, according to World Weather Attribution, an initiative that brings together climate scientists to rapidly analyze extreme events and their possible connections to climate change.
A climate scientist at the Imperial College of London, Frederica Otto, said, "The drought was agricultural, combining reduced rainfall with hotter conditions that evaporated moisture from plants and soil. It was that heat-driven evaporation that was critical in the drought's severity." The drought in the Amazon, the world's largest rainforest and crucial in storing away carbon dioxide that would otherwise contribute to warming, came as Earth endured the hottest year on record. The planet is closer than ever to the 1.5 degrees Celsius increase since pre-industrial times that nations had hoped to stay within to avoid the worst consequences of climate change, such as deadly heat, rising seas, flooding, and wildfires.
Betty Brussel, a 99-year-old Canadian woman, has broken 3 world records and become a sensation in the world of amateur swimming. Ms. Brussel set records in the 400-meter freestyle, 50-meter backstroke, and 50-meter breaststroke at the Victoria Masters Swim Club meet at the Commonwealth Pool in Saanich, British Columbia. She broke 3 records in the 100 to 104-year-old age category. Born on July 28, 1924 in Holland, Ms. Brussel, despite wearing a hearing aid and having a pacemaker due to a heart attack 25 years ago, lives independently and continues to drive herself to swim twice in a week.
"I love being in a pool and gliding through the water," Ms. Brussel told the Globe and Mail. "I feel better when I get out than when I go in. Swimming is my love. It makes me forget all of my worries and I feel great." It was only in her mid-60s that she started competitive swimming. Her world record-breaking wins have also inspired members of her local club, the White Rock Wave Swim Club, where she is an active participant. Ms. Brussel has already garnered attention from filmmakers, with Hannah Walsh and Emma Puchniak shadowing her throughout the year for a documentary anticipated to be released later in the year.
The answer for last Friday was A, austerity. The austerity measures will have little immediate adverse effect on the average Moroccan. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of 99-year-old Canadian swimmer breaks 3 world records. Number 1, sensation. 轰动哗然，引起轰动的人事物。News of his arrest caused sensation. Number 2, category. 人或事物的类别种类。 The results can be divided into three main categories. Number 3, pacemaker, 心脏起搏器，领跑人，领跑动物，就等于 pace setters. The big banks have been the pace setters in developing the system. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.